Ms. Jorgensen? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Ms. Gilliard will give us our invocation.
Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, God, we come again before your presence with praise and with thanksgiving. God, we have assembled here for the business and the affairs of this district. God, we pray for your divine guidance. For everything that we do, God, let it be child-focused. For God, we realize it's not about us. Help each one, God, that will present, that will share or ask questions, God, to keep in mind, to care for the other. God, we just honor you and we lift you up. God, help us as a district to grow and to glow, that others may look to us and ask, how is it you achieved? So God, we realize that all of us are not as strong and as good as all of us working together. And we know, God, that all things do work together for good, for those which are called according to your purpose. Now, God, we ask you to be in our hearts and our minds and let us continue to stay focused. And whatever the outcome is, God, we will give you the glory. We ask it all in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. We'll start our presentations. It's good to see Courtney Carter again from Project Praise, and she'll talk to us about their Christmas project.
She gave it to us.
How are y'all doing this afternoon?
Good. How about yourself?
We're doing fine. Okay. We're sharing this afternoon some information. I know I was back here in the summer talking to you about numbers and statistics and the grant requirements and all that kind of stuff. It's sometimes not as fun, but what I'm here to talk to you today about is the wonderful, wonderful partnership that our school district and particularly Project Praise share in accomplishing some pretty exciting things for our children that are in our homeless education project. Okay, and what this is called is Project Christmas. Project Christmas is a program where we try to provide Christmas gifts to homeless children in our district. When I first came to federal programs back in 2004, we had one organization that sponsored 15 kids. Last year, we covered 287 children for Christmas.
Awesome.
And so what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about first is just how we go about this process. First of all, the children have to be eligible for Project Praise. They have to be considered homeless under the McKinney-Vento Act. And what I do is I go to the schools with rosters and sit down with admins, guidance counselors, and we discuss which of these children would most benefit, have the most need for Christmas. It's kind of interesting. Sometimes I sit with administrators and guidance counselors and they look at the roster and they almost have a naughty and nice list. Oh, this one's been in in-school suspension how many days this month? So it's kind of interesting. But it's a school-based decision is my point. I don't select, I let the schools select. And we base how many can be chosen at each school based on the number of sponsors that I know I can count on for this year. And some of our schools select the same children a couple years in a row. Others feel like they got it last year, let's give it to another child this year. And that, again, that is a site-based decision. The children that are selected are given a wish list. They are sent home in envelopes. Elementary children especially, it's a sealed envelope. Middle and high school, they usually know what it's all about, but that's okay. We cover every school-age child in the family. I remember that first year when we only had 15. Sammy Sharp and I delivered those gifts to the families' homes. And we were out in Kathy Jorgensen's territory. We went up to the home, knocked on the door. We had gifts for an Interlochen elementary child. and we were greeted by the 12-year-old brother. And my heart sank. And I looked at Sammy and I said, "Get your wallet out, we're going to Walmart." Because we want to make sure every child has an opportunity. Even if they're 18, they deserve some kind of Christmas. We do not cover the preschool children, the children who are still at home, because most of those children, they're happy with whatever can be gotten from Family Dollar or the Dollar Tree. And so by us helping the parents with the older siblings, we free up resources for those parents to make Christmas happen for the younger children. We ask our sponsors to spend no more than $75. And there's twofold to that. One, with a limit of 75, that makes it more manageable for an organization to sponsor a child or two people or whatever. But then the other part is, if we provide Christmas for a child this year, and let's say we give them a fantasy Christmas, and then next year they're not selected, how do you explain to a 7-year-old why you didn't have as nice a Christmas this year as you had, Can't do that to a child. Can't do it. So anyway, going further on, our sponsors, you would be amazed. Postal employees. I have a sweet little 80-something-year-old lady in Lake Como. By herself, she takes 4 children every year. And I asked her the first time she sponsored, I said, "What made you decide you want to?" "Well, my own children don't even want to come see me, so I just want to have Christmas for children." That kind of attitude. The college, St. John's River State College, covers over 50 students. Putnam Community Medical Center covers over 50 students. We have had the 4-H, First Coast Community Credit Union, NEFEC, Bohannon Battery. It is truly a community of partners that help us make this happen. And we just think it's a neat thing. I have some photographs to share with you. This is a picture that was taken at the college last year. And what we do, when it comes time to do the collection, and we will be doing that next week, so any of you board members that would like to join us to help us get these packages delivered to students, please get in touch with me. I'll be happy to let you help us bag and tag, as we refer to it. We go to our sponsors, we put all their Christmas gifts in great big black trash bags, and we tie them up so nobody can see what's in the bag. And with my concrete sequential nature, we color code and tag all of them. So if we're at a school, Kathy, you know me too well, because like at Mosley, we're covering 27 children.
That's right. Wow.
And so if you have 3 siblings, then those 3 siblings' tags are olive green. So that guidance counselor can see those names even if they don't have the same surname. They know, okay, those olive green ones are one family. If they're all the red tag, this is another family. If it's a black tag, it's an individual child.
You've perfected this through the years, haven't you?
Well, it's, like I said, the difference between being anal retentive and concrete sequential is a hair's width.
So if we help you to distribute these, you will say to me, in San Mateo, go on this street, house number, whatever.
We
You give us the
deliver,
address.
we deliver to the schools, and we ask the
Oh, and
parents
they
come to the school
okay,
and
all
get
right,
it.
okay.
We also have thank you
Make it
notes
easier.
that, well, when we're covering this many, you just can't home deliver anymore. We have thank you notes at the schools that I'm delivering to guidance counselors this week. And as the parents pick up the bags of gifts, they have to write a thank you note that comes back to our office, and then I distribute to the sponsors.
What day is your delivery day? Do you know yet?
I need volunteers for Wednesday at 9:30 at Putnam Community Medical Center, and I need helpers Thursday at 1 p.m. at the college.
Well, I'll be there at work.
Well,
Wednesday
come
at
on
the-
over.
That's
Where's
this
that at the
Thursday?
college?
This
The
Wednesday?
conference room. in,
Valhalla, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the conference room, 1 o'clock this Thursday, or?
Next Thursday,
Next,
the
so I can
14th.
meet.
And what has to happen, you see all these gifts in the picture? Somebody has to find the right name to go with the right gift and the right tag, put all those gifts in a trash bag, tie it up, and get the right tag on the outside of the bag. That's what I need help with. So if you'd like to
Yeah.
come.
We'll be willing.
Charlie, you can come too, it'll lift your spirits too.
So do you, like get a van or something to,
The warehouse graciously provides us a box truck for the
Wonderful.
college and for the hospital because there's so many.
yeah.
Yeah.
NEFAC, First Coast Community Credit Union, the post offices, we can usually manage between all of us in the office, just putting them in the back of our cars. NEFAC's covering 12, 4-H is covering 15 or more. It's all in my head somewhere.
And
Okay,
then tag.
but 2 days, Wednesday and Friday. No,
Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay, I could definitely open that.
And you can see by this picture, you see how they have the wish list are attached to the back, to the presents. So it's really a cool thing.
9
What, the
o'clock.
same time at the hospital?
No, 9:30 in the morning at the hospital.
9:30.
So we are covering 44% of all of Project Praise for Christmas
Wow.
this year.
Great.
Are there some not getting it because you don't have enough sponsors?
Yes, ma'am.
56%.
And how many Project Praise kids do you have now? 7?
Sitting on about 500.
Oh, 5, okay.
Oh, it's going
It's not
down.
because they were naughty?
I know.
'Cause
We have some families who were selected by the schools that when I called them, they said, "We don't need help with Christmas. Please give it to another family."
oh, okay.
And we have some families who I just did not have enough sponsors for. And, you know, I can only do what I can do. What we do also do is praise books, and that's the next to the last slide. We provide wrapped library books because we know families in poverty lack literacy materials. Every Project Praise child gets a wrapped book for Christmas with their name on it. Those are delivered to the schools this week. A lot of our elementary school guidance counselors actually do some type of party. They do a little get-together with all the Project Praise kids, and they eat cookies, or they do a little craft project, and they get their book. And we get, again, community partnership. The college provides us wrappers with the softball team, girls from the softball team, and ladies from the Student Nurses Association. They were in our office last week helping us get all those books wrapped so we could provide those gifts to Project Praise children. And we are really grateful for all the help that we get from our community partnerships. Any other questions?
Awesome.
All
Such a wonderful undertaking, and thank you so much for
Thank you.
all y'all do.
The board.
Okay.
Give us a
Well,
thank you.
and truthfully, Sandy was asking me about school board sponsors. We have several members of the district office that have adopted children. Different departments, curriculum and instruction, career development.
Where would we get the wish list?
You have to call me.
Okay.
But what I try to do is I try to figure out and know who my sponsors are by the 1st of November.
Ooh.
So we're too late?
Right.
This
Because
year.
then I start
Next
trying to see schools to say, all right, I have 150 slots, I have 200 slots, and how am I gonna put those? And let's say I go to Browning Pierce and they have 15 slots. But those 15 slots, I go back to the office and get into Skyward and see, do we have a brother or sister at CeeLo
Yeah.
or at
Yeah.
Jenkins or at Palatka High? You know, do we have a sibling at Miller or Crescent City? And then when I go to Jenkins and they select somebody, then we've got to go back and who's at Browning Pierce and who's at you know, it's a challenge.
Well, if I'm still on the board next year, will you hit me up? Because I
I'll
would
come out
love.
of college and hit you up
Okay,
anyway.
okay.
All right?
Great.
Yeah, the
Great.
board. We'll
Thank you very much.
do great.
Thanks, Courtney.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Again, Courtney, thanks.
Next, Kelly Faircloth from Crescent City Jobs for Florida Graduate Programs and her girls.
Yeah.
I'm Kelly Faircloth, Crescent City High School. Joining me today, I have two of our career officers. This is Jael Jara. She is our Vice President of Career Preparation, and Georgette Hobbs, who is our chapter secretary. And they're going to present for you this morning. I'm going to step out of the way. I just kind of wanted to say a few things. Interlaken High School, which is led by the wonderful Becky Hopkins, they were here last month, and they did a really great job of outlining the career program to you. They really focused on the curriculum aspect of it and all of the competencies that are embedded that we use in the classroom. So today, what we're going to do is focus more on the career association side of the program, which is really the heart of JFG, I believe. So anyway, I'm going to hand it over to them. They can do the presentation for you. They also have something to present you with at the end. And I need to mention that Jael will actually be in Tallahassee tomorrow, presenting before the Governor's Appropriation Committee. Yes, so that's very exciting. This will be great practice for her. So ask as many questions as you'd like. Thank you.
Good afternoon. So I'm gonna start first by presenting you guys with our newsletters.
Thank
They
you.
go in depth on our speakers that come and speak to us
Oh, okay.
during
All these are
school.
different.
Loud.
So yes, ma'am. So you can pass those down.
Yeah.
So this is Jobs for Florida's graduates, and who we are is a school to career program, and it's designed to help young people graduate, building their confidence and helping them gain employment or post-secondary education. And we are an affiliate of JAG, which is Jobs for America's Graduates.
Could you talk in that microphone a little closer?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Alrighty. All right, can you guys hear me? Alrighty. So what we do, we provide motivation and practical strategies to help young people succeed in both school and on the job. The Career Association, which is truly the heart of the program, promotes commitment in the following 5 steps, our areas, which is leadership development, civic awareness, career preparation, and social awareness and community service. And we have national statistics at the top right corner, as you guys can see. I won't go in depth on them, they kind of speak for themselves. All students that enter the JFG program are likely to succeed, and I really feel JFG is very beneficial to this county. How we do it, a JFG treasure hunter, which is our graduation coach, Miss Kelly Faircloth, can be thought of as a personal guidance counselor in the classroom, someone we're kind of familiar with. They're our shepherd, they lead, they guide, and mentor students around the barriers and pitfalls that can derail their future in the blink of an eye. By helping them stay focused on college planning, career exploration, course planning, leadership development, and academic success. Putnam County currently has 3 treasure hunters employed within the district. Aaron Gieselman at Palaca High School, Becky Hopkins at Interlaken High School, and Miss Kelly Faircloth at Crescent City High School. And while treasure hunting is who guides us, make no mistake, it's the students who lead. We take control of our destination, and they're just there to help us, give us that extra push to our careers. And right here are all of our JFG officers. At the top left, you have Zane Whipple and Miss Rennie Sanders, who couldn't be here this evening. She wasn't feeling well, but that's our president. We have Cody Elam and Georgette Hobbs. We're preparing for a speaker. And that's me in the middle, Miss Jael Jara. I was at job shadowing Miss Sharon Feliciano out of Palm Coast High School on a felony court case. And Bryce Poulam, our House Speaker, he was helping us with our induction ceremony. He spoke, which was student-led, and Lizetta Boites.
Leadership development, JFG develops the total person as a leader and a follower. It's basically our three committees are our fundraising committee, remediation committee, decorating committee, scholarship committee, trade specifics committee.
And a lot that we do, we just help around the school. We get involved in a lot of activity that could help better our community. That's what we really try to do.
Civic awareness. Basically, our civic awareness, JFG students, we participate in the parliamentary procedures, which is basically like a workshop. And that was hosted by the city of Palaca clerk.
City Commissioner Justin Campbell. Yes, Mr. Justin Campbell. That was led by him. We were grateful to actually be able to attend the meeting. It was they were teaching us parliamentary procedures, and as you can see at the bottom left corner, those are our three students sitting. No, those are four. Sorry. Our four students, actually all officers, were able to conduct the meeting for them. That was a blessing. And in the second picture you see, that's when they made this plaque actually that I would like to show you guys. It is our JFG Day. Let's take this and pass it down. We were granted, I believe the day is October 27th, 2017. It is now JFG Day in Putnam County. So that's a very big milestone for us, and we're very proud of it. So we got it in a plaque. So that's very, very important. And the newsletters that I passed out, we make it monthly, and we try to highlight our students that make a big milestone, because one thing JFG has done for us is it's opened doors for students that didn't know they had options. It's given a voice to the voiceless. There's a lot of students that are in the program that didn't know they could go job shadow. Me, myself, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know we could go and see the life of a lawyer, see the life of a teacher behind closed doors, because you never know what you want to do until you actually experience it for a day. So I feel like this program and you guys giving us a chance to actually have it, it was very beneficial. And I say thank you for all the JFG students in Putnam County. But the newsletter, they go more in depth of what our speakers actually came and spoke to us about. And most of it was always networking and, getting out and helping the community, because relationships and integrity is something very important you should carry with you. And we have a video that we created at the beginning of the year, which I think is very, very important. And it's helping us find out who we are as a person.
That's cool. Wow.
When you look at me, see support. When you look at me, see confidence.
When you look at me, see passion. When you look at me, see ambition.
When you look at me, see courage.
When you look at me, see fear. When you look at me, see confidence.
When you look at me, see strength.
When you look at me, see opportunity.
When you look at me, see commitment. When you look at me, see patience.
When you look at me, see compassion.
When you look at me, see determination.
When you look at me, see greatness.
When you look at me, see purpose.
When you look at me, see promise.
When you look at me, see hope.
When you look at me, see sophistication.
When you look at me, see resilience.
When you look at me, see happiness.
When you look at me, see forgiveness.
When you look at me, see persistence.
When you look at me, see reliability.
When you look at me, see generosity. When you look at me, see honesty.
When you look at me, see optimism.
When you look at me, see motivation.
When you look at me, see respect.
When you look at me, see integrity.
When you look at me, see acceptance.
When you look at me, see loyalty.
And that was created by a couple of students. We all took the time out of our first and second period to record the videos, put them together, and it was looked at by Ms. Faircloth. So that was actually good. And one thing that we all stood by is when you look at Putnam County, we want everyone to see determination. We want to see strive, and that we are here and we're here to make a change. Okay. Alrighty, so we do a lot of community service work, as we said. One evening last week, I believe, we have a project, and it was a community service project, and we decided we wanted to give back to our soccer boys because, again, we have to motivate our student body. Even though we aren't student council, we are still a part of the student body, so we feel like everyone deserves a little bit of motivation. So we decided to take time out of our day And we everybody donated noodles, sauce, meat, and we got together and we made dinner for them before a pregame meal. And we prayed before dinner. We made videos. We have pictures. And our soccer team is the top left corner, and our prep team are all the following pictures next to it. And I feel like that was actually it was very fun. And our boys, they won that night. I believe it was a blowout. It was the cooking. It was the cooking. I was chef.
Yeah, that's why.
So it was the cooking. But they actually enjoyed it. And actually, our prep team loved it. It really did help. And it showed a lot of our students that being involved isn't a bad thing. Being involved doesn't always mean you have to sacrifice something. It can be fun. And that giving back is fun. Dream job. So this leads us to dream jobbing. Our career preparation is very, very important. A lot of our students, since day one, we've all had asked the question, what do we want to be when we graduate? What are our aspirations? What are our plans? I've actually had the opportunity to job shadow. Like as Ms. Fairclough said earlier, I will be job shadowing Ms. Heather Bevins, which is the CEO of JFG, in Tallahassee tomorrow and speaking on the House floor. However, our first participant who was able to job shadow was Octavius Stewart, and he was on live TV. It was, I mean, to be the first
How did he
person,
do?
It was good. We're about to show you the clip now.
Okay.
It was ecstatic. Like all the students, everyone got because at first it took Ms. Fairclough a while to get the students to just turn in the videos because they're like, oh, it's not gonna work. Nobody's gonna reach out. Nobody's gonna lend a hand. And I think. The JFG program has showed us that if we reach out and we ask our community for help, for assistance, they will return. Everyone's not going to reject you. So, the video speaks for itself. He was so nervous.
At 1-3, Florida State is off to their worst start since 1976. As bad news Knowles have looked, they have nothing but success against Duke. In the 19 games they have played, Florida State has not only won all of them, but the Blue Devils have only come within 20 points since. Today was the first time these two schools have played together since 2013 ACC championship game. Knowles offense got things going on their opening drive as James Blackman connects with Auden Tate, who thrown the 20-yard touchdown, put FSU up 7-3 at the half. Second half, Duke with the chance to tie it at 10. Freshman Britton Brown spins in for the score. Blue Devil right in this one late in the third. With 8:30 to go, the Seminoles' Cam Akers takes the air out of the Blue Devils rally. He hits the next gear and is gone. 42 yards later, it is 17-10. Seminoles 11 5 yards for Akers today. 5 seconds left. Last chance for the Dukes. Daniel Jones heaves it up to the end zone, but it is batted down. Florida State holds on for the 17-10 win. They are now 2-3 and says this victory was good for their growth. This is Octavius Stewart and this Sports for Now.
So we call him cameraman now. He loves it. He loves it. But overall, our dream jobbing at that video, given the opportunity to actually job shadow is, it's amazing. It actually helps you find, it's easier to find a decision and what you want to do because, everyone's always has those jitters of going to college and thinking that the career you start off with is the one you have to stay with. But, statistically speaking, a lot of freshmen in college change their majors their first year. And to conclude, we would like to present Putnam County School Board members with a certificate, and all we would like to say is thank you for your support, and we really appreciate it. It helps us a lot.
Very good.
You guys have a good day.
Can we get a picture with a board chairperson?
Why don't you come down?
And I'd like to be in it.
Yes, we
Jael
want-
Jara is my niece. That's Regina's granddaughter
Is that when
and
you learn how to
Bubba's
cook?
daughter.
Because I know she can cook.
Oh, yes, ma'am, she does.
Ms. Fairclough, why don't you come down too?
If I may.
Yeah.
It's okay?
Absolutely.
Of course you may.
I enjoy that presentation.
I want to get in between
Why don't you
you
present
and
it to
Gigi.
your Aunt Sandy?
No, I want to get between you and Gigi.
I'll do Rick.
Kidding, joking.
Great,
Thank
great.
you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, great job. Proud of that.
Oh, and you'll be in God's country tomorrow.
Are you gonna get
God's
the video
country
of you
is
talking at the
sanity.
governor's meeting? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I want to see a copy of it, okay?
Tuscaloosa.
Very proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly. That was great. Thank you, guys.
Oh, we can put this in our little office.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Demi.
Bye, Demi.
Cute.
But she is not studying us. Okay, I have no public comment cards. So we'll move on to the consent agenda. Ms. Jorgensen, I'll start with you. Is there anything you would like to pull?
Yes, I'd like to pull D5, please.
D5. Ms. Cummings?
Yeah, I wanted, G1.
G1. And Ms. Gilliard?
I had the G1, but Mrs. France took care of it for me, so I'm good.
Yeah, she, I had contacted her about that too. Okay, so will someone make a motion?
I'll make a
please?
motion that we approve the consent agenda with the exception of D5 and G1.
All in favor?
No,
Aye.
did we get a second?
Second?
I second.
You second. All in
Yes.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, who's D5?
D5 is the calendar. And I love the evening meetings and in the different parts. What I'm questioning is September has 3 weeks in a row with meetings. And we go from June 19th to July 17th without a meeting. I'd like to consider canceling the September 11th meeting. And then put another one in the end of June or the beginning of July, because we go a full month.
That's that special board meeting for the budget on September 11th.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's the real short meeting.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah,
So we're good?
yeah, the
Well-
final budget hearing that
Yeah,
day.
that's
Do
the
we want
final
another,
budget.
do we want another I've always felt like school starts in August, but we don't have 2 meetings a month in June and July. We only have one. And I don't know, it just seems to me that that's when the board needs to be doing a lot of business, but then we have vacations too, I know. I make a motion that we approve the calendar as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Yep.
Unanimously.
Unanimously.
By the way, we scheduled those meetings in the south and the west and central, those 7 p.m. meetings strategically right after our superintendent's advisory meetings in those areas at 6. So hopefully that's going to even encourage more participation in the board meetings.
Good deal.
Great.
So we did try to meet what you requested at the last meeting.
Very good.
Correct. Okay, G1, Ms. Cummings?
Yeah, I read the contract, but it sounded like a great program. I just kind of wanted to know what students we were impacting and how the actual process was going to be laid out. It looks really great.
Ms. France is coming to
And it
answer
used to be
questions.
dignity you wear. Yes,
Well, that's good.
yes.
So it is You Wear and Souls for Souls have merged, so it's now, the name is Souls for Souls. So it's the same thing as the clothes closet that's housed at 100 or 1100 Hudson Avenue, that we provide clothing for students.
Yeah, I've had a couple people I've referred to, and there was always like a little bit of a hiccup. I've had several guidance counselors say, well, I'm the only one on the approved list. I'm the only one that can go get clothes. And they weren't able to do that. And so then the kids didn't get things. And I was really, is Danny Hood still? Okay.
Go ahead, Renee. Renee is the one whose office actually, and we have to operate it by the guidelines that they give us.
And that's why I think that was part of they say it's got to be this way. And
Okay. We originally started out with the counselors being the ones that can come in.
Right.
And then when there was a hiccup there, I got with the principal or the principal got with me.
Right.
And they were able to designate a person
We were open on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Now we're open anytime. This year, it's anytime that a counselor needs. We have met them at 8 o'clock in the morning. We've met them at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, at any time that a counselor or the designated person from the school. This particular Souls for Souls is the same as Dignity. It'll just be coming from, not from Jacksonville, it'll be coming from Alabama.
And is there any different
Or
procedures
Tennessee,
that they-
Alabama and Tennessee, right. There's 2 different areas.
Is there any other procedures that they have added to the process, or is it pretty much the same as Dignity U? I mean, is
It's
there?
the same. It's the same. We will be responsible for shipping. Before, we were able to
Yeah, pick up.
and now we will be responsible to reimburse them for shipping.
And if you have not seen it work, it does work. It gives the students a sense of pride to have a nice pair of slacks that they may wear to an assembly or something like that. It does work. I saw it at Price when I was there.
And it's been, this year with the hurricanes, we have we also service the adults as well as the students, and we have baby clothing. From Dignity, they were able to send us baby clothing. I've even been able to get maternity clothing for our students that are expecting. So, and the counselors have been able to get that clothing for those students. But we have, been able to help families that have lost a lot this past year so
And
far.
These are clothing that have tags on them.
Yes, these are this is brand new.
This isn't something that's, what do they call it?
Now,
Twice
we don't
as nice or
we don't
slightly
do
used?
shoes.
This is
They
real.
don't do shoes, but Souls for Souls have.
Sounds like it.
I know, that's
Well,
what I was thinking.
Souls for Souls has a shoe program, so I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get some shoes, and they also have an area that we can get jackets. We weren't able to get jackets through Dignity, very few, but the Souls for Souls, hopefully we're going to be able to have some shoes.
Well, do we have money budgeted away somewhere that we'll have available to pay for the shipping?
Yes, ma'am. Well, Miss France says yes.
Okay.
We will be able to, and we don't get that many shipments of clothing during the year, so hopefully it won't be that much.
Right.
And as far as our shipping cost. But that is something that we're gonna have to reimburse Souls for Souls, since we're farther away than Jacksonville now.
Yeah.
Because it'll be coming out of Alabama and mostly out of Tennessee.
Yeah, because I kept seeing Alabama, so I was confused and thought, well, that's interesting. And underwear and socks are always a need. Is that something, because they were always kind of out of that with Dignity U? Is that something?
No, we have plenty of underwear.
okay.
We have plenty of underwear and socks. We have all kinds of sizes.
Oh, good.
We have lots of big girl panties.
What you trying to say?
No, that's just what they say. It's when we get them, we have lots of big girl panties.
That's great. All right.
Okay.
So, but I mean, we have, socks and
Yeah.
packages of underpants, not, so it's not like, the ladies were able to come and get packages for their students.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Okay, great.
Really
Thank you.
awesome. I think that Mr. Douglas.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, I just would ask the board that any motion to approve include changes to paragraphs 11, 12, and 13. Paragraph 11, change the governing law to the state of Florida. Paragraph 12, change Nashville, Tennessee to Putnam County, Florida as venue provision. And paragraph 13, delete the last 2 sentences. Talks about liquidated damages and condition damages.
do we need to give specifics or just changes?
I would like to make a motion that we approve item G1 with changes to paragraphs 11, 12, and 13 as per our attorney.
Second.
Is there, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Okay.
Love it.
Where's my second page? Oh, here it is. No emergency items. No unfinished business.
Well, we got this nice little schedule that, I don't know if that would be under that, the media center usage, because we asked for it at the last meeting.
Yeah, and I was gonna bring that up, but
Yeah,
if you
go
wanna go ahead and
ahead.
talk
Okay.
about it, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't know if it could be brought up. I just, again, it was, I guess the Mellon and Aquila still concerns me that they don't have the media center open except for before school, 30 minutes a day. Again, that just, I don't know. I guess I just wanted to reiterate that the ability for kids to check out books is only a 30-minute time on Fridays, I guess, at Mellon, and then Aquila just says, Parapro, 25 minutes. So, anyway.
Well,
Is that something we could talk about, or?
Well, I'm looking into, to some retired teachers who would like to do some volunteering, and I think that would be a wonderful place for them to do that.
We asked our area directors to survey their schools, and I don't know, let's see, that would be West and Central. If you have any additional, do teachers take them in when there's people not in there? Can you address that? They have access in addition to?
Mellon is an as needed. Did you get the corrected copy?
As
needed on Mellon?
No.
Does it say as needed?
It's Fridays only, 7:15 to 7:45.
That's the old one. I thought I had brought the new one down, but I can get you the new one.
Okay.
I put it together.
Oh, okay.
And Mellon is as needed. It's not just that 30 minutes.
Well, what does as needed mean?
Anytime a teacher needs to go in with her class.
Deborah, can you explain a question about as needed, what that means?
I would think it means anytime a teacher needs to go in with her class.
Teacher needs that can do it, or if a student in
Student
particular,
needs.
one of the things they told me was if a student needed to take an AR test or check out a book or needed something like that, Miss McCullough makes arrangements to be there and open it for them and be sure she's in there. Or they get an aide to come in there. So
Okay.
it's not just a 30-minute block, and I'm sorry y'all got the old copy. I thought I took the new one down to your office, but you weren't there, so it may have gotten
We
shuffled
can
in
get
the
'em the
paperwork,
updated
but I can
copy.
get you the new one.
Do you have any updated information on Aquila?
Tanya, what was the, we all did this together, I just kind of typed it, what?
Okay, that one just says.
Just take 25 minutes every morning.
Yeah.
No, that's not right. There's a
Aquila
parapro
is
in there.
open before school, but then there's a parapro in there all day, and it is one of their specials. And when a class is not in there for a special, a teacher can schedule it and take a class for additional time as well. And then,
Okay.
just want to verify,
So that's,
we get IHS.
okay.
IES, yeah.
And IES also has a parapro in there as well.
This is the old one. It was edited, and again, I stuck it on Rick's desk when he was not in there yesterday. It's probably under some paperwork. I apologize, because I didn't give it to Sharon. I just.
Hey, give it to Sharon. If you give it to me,
Sorry,
it will
boss.
disappear.
And the
I
only
will
other,
get you the new one.
the only other correction we had on there, IHS, the parapro is in there before school and all the way up through 3 o'clock. And then that parapro has an additional assignment last period. However, if a teacher, there is a teacher that's got a class in there during 7th period, and there are other teachers that will take their classes in there at that time as well. So the media center is technically open at all times at IHS. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But we'll get you a new.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And Ms. Buckles, I found it in my file here, so I do have it, and we'll make you
Oh,
copies.
no.
Somebody slipped it in my file.
I knew it was your
Charlie did.
Would you pass that down?
It's being, I have one copy, we need a copy
Oh,
for you.
okay. You were supposed to
So
make
we're gonna get
copies.
the revised.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get it to you.
Okay, no new business that I'm aware of. So let's start with our board reports. I'll start with Ms. Gilliard.
Okay, well, I guess I do need these. We've been participating in the Christmas parades. We had an opportunity to be in Palatkas and in Crescent Cities, and do apologize for Interlochen not being able to attend that one. But with the Palatkas parade, Mosley students were phenomenal. They looked like they had almost the whole school there, and they were marching and they were chanting, and you could see and hear the pride in their voices as they talk, shouted, things that they were doing. Some even had signs that said honor student or something like that. They were touting the fact that they are on board, that they are focused, that it's almost like they know what's down the road for them, and they're all in. that's what I took away from it. So it was just great.
Well, and I'd like to add to that, it was wonderful to see all the parents there with them.
Yes.
Because that is getting parents involved
Yes.
with those kids and with that school.
Yes.
And they were just as proud as they could be for those kids to be marching in that parade.
Nice feeling
And
that
so-
they may not have experienced
Yeah.
before.
Yes,
So
and definitely to Palatka High for their band, to QI for their band, Putnam Academy.
Of Arts and Science.
Arts and Science, they were there. And it just brings the community together. And if you're watching the Hallmark movies, it kind of, makes you feel good to
It
be
did.
community-minded and
I
do
didn't know
things
there were
like
that many people in Putnam County.
Yes, and then Crescent City's parade, well, even in Palatka's parade, the sheriff was on a horse, he and his wife, and it was almost like Matt Dillon and Kitty riding, down the street.
that's
It
why
was
I said Miss
awesome, and it made you feel good to be a part of Putnam County, and that's what it's all about. Then business happened. We were in Tampa for the conference, and Flagler Palm Coast, their school district, did a phenomenal presentation of reduction of suspensions, and definitely we want to look at some of the things, the avenues that they've taken, and they did invite us over and say, hey, come see if you want to. And they're our neighbors, and so I was just enthused with the things that they've done to kind of curtail and turn it around. Also, the one on recruitment and retention of the teachers, just phenomenal. And when we go to these conferences, you're motivated to come back home and to want to do and to become a part of a moving district. And next year, our desire is to possibly make presentations. I would love to see Kelly or Becky Hopkins there with some of their students presenting, because we have it going on here in Putnam County, and we're doing great things, and they award superintendents that have made an impact and a turnaround. And I'm not going to prophesy because I'm not a prophet, but I do see our superintendent at the rate he's going, and with the support of the great leadership team he has following him, I foresee him becoming one that will be rewarded as superintendent that has truly turned it around. Makes you feel good to be a part of something, and it starts with our pre-K and all of us working together. Our custodial staff, the final man that shared, he knew Rick personally.
Oh, that
and
was so
the
amazing.
laughter, and a lot of times we don't laugh and we don't celebrate, but he made everything just enjoyable, just hearing him and talking about the importance of every part of our community and our school district. The custodial staff, the man coming down and getting the red apple, and he had more seniors that had nominated him. And the presenter was saying, and I just thought sure they were going to bring down some teacher that had done this, that, and other, and it was the custodian. And he was saying to us that all of us are important, our drivers, and to show appreciation for them. You awarded Kevin Hall, and that's my son, he's, my son. And to have the confidence that John had in him to say to you, Rick, when you went to John, to say, Kevin is the man that could get this generator going, and we need to do more of that. Putting our people on stage and saying to them, you've done an excellent job and we appreciate you. That's it, and I'll stop preaching.
Preach, sister, preach.
Thank you.
We like your prophesying. So.
Yeah. We talked about that quite a bit while we were down there.
Yes.
Ms.
I just
Cummings?
see it.
Yeah, I also loved, had a lot of good breakout sessions. The nice thing about Tampa is we all get to go to different sessions and learn different things and bring them back and try to, be aware of what's going on in the state. So it was really,
what other districts are
right.
doing.
One thing that really spoke to me a lot was something that I don't know if we've talked much about, but social emotional learning, and it's SEL, and they have core competencies, and they have all this in their integrated in their academic. But the social emotional learning and the things that our students particularly deal with. I mean, I'm always meeting their physical needs with food, and anytime I can get clothing, and I'm always like, oh yeah, family, their house burnt down, let me get them this and this and this. But the social emotional learning component is something that it was interesting, and of course I'd like to know what our district in particular feels, but 9 out of 10 teachers believe that social and emotional skills can be taught, and it benefits their students, of course, academically, but only 4 in 5 teachers, or 4 in 5 need more support, that they don't have the resources and the PD and all the training that goes along with the social emotional learning component. And I was like, wow, I wonder if that's something that we could, we have all these UNICEF dollars, we're always paying for all these great things, but the social emotional learning piece, I don't know. It just, and I have this lady does it all over the state, and she did, we can have her come, she'll come, it's just amazing. There was a lot of statistics, and with our district especially, get overwhelmed with how do we help these young kids make better social emotional decisions. And I was inspired to try to do whatever I can to help with that, because again, I'm always seeing the physical needs, and I can give them food and clothes, and I'll take your clothes.
That's easy.
But this is really difficult, and it's something that...
And it's a very real problem. I met with Travis Weaver this morning for about an hour, and he went over...
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, good.
Specifically to what you said.
Yeah.
He went over what we do as a district to deal with kind of the social... what you're saying, Nikki.
Right.
And we have extensive... I was amazed at the training we have for all members of our staff to recognize threat assessments or suicide, or we have what our student, whatever the department is you are, whatever that department is, what they have put together. What are they called?
Student services.
That is, okay, student services, what they have put together in the way of educating our staff members about socio-emotional and all that. I was absolutely amazed. I really was.
That's awesome.
So I think you'll find that we're doing a lot. We have psychologists and wellness counselors that get involved, and
our guidance counselors, do
they're
a lot.
supposed to be for guidance.
Kathy, I know.
Education, but they're not supposed to do a lot. We have the counselors to do that. We have psychological counselors. Every school is assigned one. We have 8 of them for 17 schools. Which is 2 schools each.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. They mostly don't have a lot of time to work with kids individually, though.
Yeah.
Well, neither do the guidance counselors.
That's what they do all day long. That's why they can't get any paperwork done, because they're meeting with kids.
Okay,
I see what you're saying. But, I think if we could have a mental health counselor in every school, which I don't see that happening, it would be
Well, we can do
amazing.
what, the board can allocate whoever we want,
Yeah.
wherever
Well,
we
you're
want.
right.
It
Just
doesn't
to,
matter.
just to tag on what Kathy said, we recently had a tragedy at one of our schools, loss of a student, and that's happened from time to time. But our staff kicks into gear and will send people to that school to counsel and just to be there. And this is over a weekend, so I'm very proud of how we react whenever we do have crises.
Yeah, really, and like I said, Mr. Weaver and his department have put together phenomenal. I was amazed at how much we do.
And Ms. Huff is over our counselors, and she
Say that
coordinates
again.
our
That's right.
counselors.
We really are on the ball when it comes to, we really are. I mean, we could go give seminars in Tampa next year about what we're doing. That's how impressed I am, really.
But back to what Nikki was saying, I know what she's talking about. I've had attended several things as a guidance counselor about social emotional learning. But that sounds like, to me, there's things that teachers could learn and
it's
could
really
be
in the
bringing
classroom.
with their classroom and their academics.
It really is, and it's before the kids maybe need that intervention and are in expulsion committee with you, but it's about self-awareness, self-management, relationship skills. And I feel like in an elementary level we don't have, because the parent involvement piece is not as much there, and it falls on the school, but it really, as far as academics go, if you look at all the trainings and everything, when you give them the self-awareness and the ability to regulate and have these
Yeah, and they can't do that. A lot
yeah,
of them.
they
A lot of them
really,
sure can't.
and the relationship and the responsive decision making, and it's a teacher.
Where's she from?
She's from Pasco County. I could give a card, but it was awesome, and I really did enjoy it, and I felt it's more as a teacher level, and they did things in their class, and decision making, and how you respond to poor decision making, and because we have so many kids in elementary school when they get suspended for 3 days, 5 days, and all these trainings we went to with Flagler, don't suspend kids, and trying to do it, and I'm like, well, what in elementary?
And again, I'm playing the devil's advocate. Time is an issue
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
How do you find time?
Well, that's what
to
she
had on top of.
And that's what she did. She integrates it into
Okay.
everything. She
Okay.
has in her English lessons, she has all her core curriculum is involving, even the stories they read are based upon how they can actually make positive
grade
decisions.
levels?
All grade levels. She was in particular elementary, and it was amazing because she would integrate even the stories they read, their passages. Everything was about making positive choices and how to. Yeah, it really is, and I just see it as a need in our. It's just all. It's more.
Look into it.
Yeah, I can definitely give Dr. Cernstein a card, and she'll come for free. It was, I got her card and talked to her
That's even
afterward.
better.
And look at it and
Free
then
is
say,
good.
this is what we can do, and this is what we can offer. But it was amazing the ways that they can transform the young children's lives of their thinking process and give them a new mindset.
Start early.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And that
anyway.
helps with our poverty level.
Yeah.
Right there.
And
Our
our
leadership team,
expulsions and all
maybe
that.
calling on some of you, we ask you to, cover some of the, including Charlie, cover some of the sessions, so we may be calling on you since you attended some of those sessions, just to get some input.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
Any more?
I didn't start.
Oh, that was just a response to
Yes.
that. Okay, go
Do I
ahead.
go now? Okay, I want to give a shout out to Sharon Cormany. She does wonderful things for us. She's organized. She helps us organize. I really want to give her a
Even
shout
though we
out.
forget the organization and leave it in Palatka.
She made us these beautiful
And run out of
envelopes with
gas.
everything we needed for Tampa.
Possibly need.
Everybody, I
Gorgeous.
remembered
And
mine.
3 of us wrote down together and not one of us remembered.
It's kind of like Lucy and Ethel and Fred.
Yeah. Okay, and I already gave a shout out to you, Mr. Weaver, so I'm not doing it again. Policy rate orientation. Okay, we have a policy on the books that says we shall provide orientation to new board members. We've never done that. And having been a new board member at one time, a long, long time ago, I think it's a good idea that we come up with something. I mean, it even says that what we should be orienting them on.
Well,
So maybe we can,
I don't know if you
For
and
next
Nikki
year.
remember, but I asked about that my first year on
Yes.
the board. And
Yes.
really the only orientation I got was on a state level at FSBA. I never got anything that was personal to Putnam County.
Exactly.
And it is vitally needed.
I agree. That's why I've brought it up. So
Maybe
maybe,
you and I can work on
Yeah, I mean, we might even ask you to be a part of that, and
Sure.
we could join together, and,
that would be great.
yeah, that's great.
Wonderful. Can I give this to you so you,
Absolutely.
it's on you now. I'll show up. And happy birthday, Nikki.
Oh, thank you.
Is today?
Yeah, thank
Happy
you.
birthday. That was my last thing. I'm done.
Oh, thank you.
You sure?
Oh, positive.
Because I cut you off twice.
No, that's fine.
Okay, I also went to FSBA, rode down with these two characters. It was it was great. And we abided by the sunshine law the entire time.
We talked about our families.
We have the visors up so
Yeah.
the sunshine can
Right.
come in the window.
But I also went to 2 workshops. Thomas was at one of them with me on recruiting and retention, and you know, you just get so excited when you learn all these new things and see what something, and like Thomas brought up one time, well, you know, that's Miami-Dade and they got all the money in the world to do what, but, you know, on a smaller scale, maybe we could do some of those things. The whole time I was there, Tanya, I was wishing you were there, because they're really excited about what they do and how they get new teachers, and then how they retain them, some of the things they do to keep them here after they get here. So that was very exciting. I did not go to a session that I didn't think was beneficial. That every one of them was beneficial, and had the opportunity to moderate one, which is always fun, and so I enjoyed that. We got a lot of stuff coming up between now and Christmas break, winter break, whatever is the politically correct term.
Santa Claus is in the lobby,
Okay,
so Christmas
okay.
is good.
I'm very excited about next week. I get to judge public speaking for FFA in Interlaken. I'm so excited about that. I'm going to be moderating the spelling bee again at CeeLo, which I love words and I love spelling. I'll get it to you. I didn't write that part down.
Okay.
There are Christmas parties to attend. But one of the best things we got going is this week, Thursday night, barring any terrible weather. It's a fundraiser for the Palatka High baseball team. And I am the coach for the wrecking crew from the Azalea City Kiwanis, and Dana Westbury Summers is the coach for the Palatka High School Kitty Cats. And we're doing it to help raise money for the baseball team. They've got a lot of things they want to do out on the field, and Alan's doing a lot of different things. So if you want to come see something funny, you need to come Thursday night, because we practiced last night, and the ones of us that didn't get carried off by a stretcher could hardly move today. So, but anyway, lot of things going on, and I feel so fortunate to be on this board and to be a part of this team that works together to keep children first in Putnam County.
And there's a basketball game that night. I know.
I'm gonna miss it, because I'm gonna be coaching.
Well, I'll represent at the basketball game.
Okay. All right. Mr. Attorney?
I want to thank the board for inviting me to attend the Florida School Board Association meeting with you in Tampa. I got a lot out of it. On the legal side of things, there were discussions about medical marijuana and how that will impact our school system. House Bill 7069, which all of you are familiar with. There are larger districts who are contesting that as we speak in the courts of law, and we'll be keeping a close eye on how that unfolds, and will have a significant direct impact on this district. And of course, the Constitutional Revision Committee and all that they are analyzing and considering now, and how that may or may not conflict with the existing Constitution, which is that public education is a fundamental value in the state of Florida. So as those are updated, I'll be sure to keep you in the loop as well. And if you have any questions for me along the way, please let me know. But otherwise, everything is going well in the legal department.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie. I also enjoyed the Tampa get-together and learned a lot. I was primarily in superintendent's meetings the entire time, so was not able to go to a lot of the breakout sessions. But I do want to point out that, as Charlie mentioned, the Constitutional Revision Commission, there are a number of proposed revisions. 3 of them directly impact everyone sitting up here right now.
Yes.
And that is the ones about the appointed superintendent, and the board members not being compensated, and term limits. And I just want to get that out in the open. And again, I'm not stating my position on those. I'm strictly want to say the position of our Superintendent's Association is this is a question of local control. And I want us to just keep that in mind. You know, we've had these, especially the whether to appoint or elect a superintendent has been on the ballot here before, and our local people have voiced their will. So I think we all have concerns about people in Tallahassee maybe telling us the way we're going to do it, one way or the other. And if it does come to a vote, understand that our larger districts, who are primarily have appointed superintendents, will basically be voting, will determine how that vote turns out.
Right.
So again, I'm not advocating one way or the other. I'm just saying it is a matter of taking the control of that question away from our district. So just keep that in mind, and that is a controversial, all three of those provisions are controversial, but just keep in mind, it may not be in our hands, so come November. The JFG presentation today I was so proud of those young ladies.
That's great.
They are beyond their years. They really are. But yesterday, I just want to point out, we actually invited all three of the JFG classes in this boardroom, and it was standing room only. And we had a prospective business that may be coming to Putnam County, which I'll talk about later, did a presentation for those kids and talked about some of the opportunities for those kids. And they actually have been contacting the business, and it was really rewarding to see those kids. And that's our future right there.
Amen.
And those classes are doing so well to make learning relevant. And those kids can see, hey, I get my diploma, there is an opportunity after high school. So I was really proud of that. The other thing, I just want to remind you, on December 18th at 2 p.m., we have a board workshop on the proposed Florida Power and Light Energy Plan. It's the 18th. It's the day before the next board meeting, and that is a very, very important workshop. A lot of money at stake there, so we want to talk about that and see which direction to go.
And that's at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
And we'll be presenting you with maybe a couple different options at that workshop that you can vote on the next day. We want to talk about that in the workshop. So please make sure to be there.
And that's a Monday, Tuesday?
That's a Monday. The board meeting's on Tuesday. This is the day prior to that.
Okay, I have it in my notes from
Yeah.
last time.
And I'm going to pass out very briefly to finish up. This is the 18-19 academic calendar that was developed and was surveyed. There was a couple different calendars, and this is the one, and you see the vote on the back, option 1, option 2. This is what was favored by most of our employees. And I'm giving this to you now. We will put this on the agenda for the next meeting, but we need to go ahead and make a decision on this as soon as possible. But again, this was already vetted by our employees, and this is the calendar they would prefer. And I do have a copy of the other one if you'd like to see that, the other one that was.
And just out of curiosity, you don't need to go to any extra effort. I'd like to kind of see what the attendance was on those makeup days, the hurricane days. Did we have students, I guess, opting to just stay home and come? Because you're doing an excellent job advertising, because already on the marquee is January 9th, I think it says, the next date.
Right.
And I was just curious about the attendance. Do some of them just opt out?
We can provide that for you.
No, don't go there.
Did you
I mean, we can
say
get it
something
for you.
about where sample 2 is?
I said I have that if you need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was done on what, Survey Monkey? Is Lennon
This
here?
is sample 1 that I'm passing out now. You have sample 2.
How was this survey done?
Survey Monkey. Yeah.
Lennon didn't send it out? Because usually I get them from him. So who did? So who sent it out?
Yeah. Well, then this one must be horrible. It's same thing, 24th.
So we'll bring this up. We'll put this on the agenda, and we just wanted you to go ahead and look at that and study it now. And then for the 1920 calendar, we will be bringing that to you at a later time. Yes,
The what?
the 1920.
Is there someone here who can speak to the differences between these two, the major differences between these two?
Okay, who was on that committee?
There's 5 people that go to the meeting. We have it in an email. I'll bring it up. It was done in February of 2017. 5 people.
This was done in February?
Yeah, 5 people were there. 5. And that's why I asked for somebody to be on there. It's not a very good representation. This makes me furious. This makes me furious. December 24th.
Well, I don't even see what the difference is. So that means they don't get out until the 23rd.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
That's
you
what I'm
have the
saying.
start date. I mean, you have a framework now. You can't start any sooner than August 10th.
I know. You can't start sooner than August 10th.
There's 5 people in the meeting. I thought everybody got it in the board, but I guess I got it because I asked.
No, I didn't.
I'll bring it up. It's from Tanya Whitehurst, so she sent it, I think.
Maybe we can get together and come up with it.
Is this what you're recommending, or did you have we just gone by SurveyMonkey?
Just by SurveyMonkey, is that correct? Yes.
Okay.
So this is like picking the least of the two worst, the least of the evils to me, because
It's awful.
what
Okay.
we've done to them.
Well, you have a board representative now that you've selected, and when that,
Can we
for this
assign
one.
her now to remodify this if we're not happy? I'm not kidding.
okay, tell me what your concern is.
December 20.
December 24th.
All of us are not okay with that. Is anybody okay with that? No, absolutely not. So why would you? The committee met, here's the sign-in sheet. It was December,
There's got to be a better
February 13th. There's 5 people. Helen Muir, Mark Modal, Debbie Markgren, and Julie Glisson.
Okay.
You told me that. You showed me
5 people.
If I could just answer one question. When we originally were instructed to have a calendar committee, which I agree with, we were given a set of parameters. We had the August 10th as the first day. That's in statute. That was the earliest we could start. We were also
Kids.
requested, yes ma'am, to try to end the semester before they went home for the winter holidays. The only way to do that, that makes it very difficult when those are your 2 parameters. So that's why it's very hard to have a lot of options if those are your 2 driving pieces to do what is best for the students. In order to achieve that, you don't get a lot of options.
Well, let me
So,
ask you this.
let me-
Let me ask you
May I-
this. As a former teacher of 25 years, what good is it doing to finish before? I still don't know what good it's doing to finish, and this may not be you to answer, Debbie.
Okay.
What good is it doing to finish before Christmas?
As a parent, I'd like to comment. I had 4 children graduate from IHS.
I did.
And when they go back to school after a 2-week break, they have to cram, in effect, for their,
But the
Mine didn't.
reality,
My
Kathy, is
kids
a lot
didn't.
of them don't have the semester tests. A lot of them.
We don't even give semester tests
Exactly.
anymore.
There's some, but
Debbie,
very small.
few. It's
And
not
that-
like it was.
I understand.
When they were required. Semester
Scott,
tests were
come get a copy of
required.
this so
They're
you can
not anymore.
Put it
Okay,
in the
let me
paper
go back
get
and
the
answer your
public
question.
involved.
Okay.
I'm going to look at it from the perspective of being 2 different people. I'm looking at it from the perspective of being a mom, being a teacher, and then also having been a principal at Palaca High School. All 3 of those, if you're looking at what's in the best interest of students, you end their semester before they leave for an extended break, so that when you come back, you don't have to go back and review all of that content for whatever test you're going to give, or if there's just a test you want to give for the end of the semester, not a semester exam, but just there at the end, that they're not having to study over the holidays.
And it took us
That's just
32
answer-
years that I was there to get
That's
to
just
that
answering
point.
your question. That's how I
And I don't
honestly
know any
believe.
that it affected adversely.
Does anybody like
took-
this? Does
It took
anybody like
32
this?
years because the legislature wouldn't let us start early, as early as August 10th.
That's
Then they
correct.
finally woke up with lobbying because the specific reason to back it up to August 10th was for this, so that the first semester could end.
How do the teachers feel? Do they feel that it's beneficial to go ahead and
there's
do
not any on
it
the
prior to
committee.
going on the Christmas break?
Mark.
Let Mark answer
Mark
that.
and Julie.
Can I speak to the committee? Nikki, the 5 members of the 5 people that were at that meeting, the meeting that you're referring to was to review the results of the survey. That wasn't any development of the calendar.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Say that again.
So you didn't even get to develop it.
Just
Okay,
that, the meeting you're referring to, the development of the calendar, then the survey went out, that was to look at the results of the survey. That was not to actually work on the calendar. So there are not just
So
5
where's
people.
the minutes that worked on the calendar? Who was that?
It was the same group, but there was just a meeting
They
prior
couldn't
to
all-
that
they
where
couldn't all
we
make
pulled
it to that
together.
meeting.
But that particular meeting was where we looked
Oh.
at the results.
You're talking about the one a month before with the same 5 people?
There are more than 5 people.
Well, it says, you have the sign-in sheet, I'm looking at it. There's 5 people signed into that meeting. So if there's something else, maybe you could fill me in.
Or no, ma'am, that's what we're talking about.
Okay, so there's 5 people that created
Which 5
this-
names do you have there?
the meeting on January 19th, Julie, Mark, Mike Grennan, Deborah,
Deb Bishop,
and Debbie Decabellis.
okay.
Is that who created this?
We did together with those parameters. If you look at August 10th and trying to end the semester before you go home for the winter holidays, there aren't a lot of options.
But I'm saying this semester test that we're talking about, if you look at the percentage of students you're impacting, high
I'd like
school,
to know
I
how many
agree.
give
And how
semester
many, do you give semester exams in your
I
classes?
give an exam at the end of the 9 weeks, yes.
Right, at the end of the 9
Yep,
weeks.
regardless of
Okay.
whether it's a semester exam or not, I give an exam at the end of
Right,
the
so
grading
like
period.
this year that you're filling the first semester after break, are you doing it before break? As a teacher in your own preference?
Say that again?
Are you doing your 9 weeks test before because of the hurricane days, the end of the semester ends after?
Only 2 days after, so yes.
So you are doing it before?
But I wouldn't with a week of time after, like we used to have. We used to have a week or more
used
of
to have 2
time in that grading period
Which
after the
you are
holidays.
using common sense because you have hurricane days.
Because there are only 1 or 2 days after the
Right,
holidays. Yep, that's
exactly.
correct.
And you're a high school, and when we look at the percentage of students that may be taking semester or 9-week tests compared to the overall population of our students,
Regardless of whether it's a 9 weeks test or a semester exam, when there is a week or more of school time following the holidays, there has to be material that is not quite finished up for more holidays. There's got to, we're talking about 1 or 2 days in the amended calendar this year versus up to 2 weeks, like 2 weeks of time we had previously before the start date could be August 10th. And I'll echo Debbie here. The 2 parameters that the calendar committee had to work on were start as close to August 10th as possible and finish the semester before the holidays if possible. And there's just not much room to do
Who
that.
was that, who made the parameter to finish before Christmas? The
board.
This board discussed it, yeah.
This board.
This is what, that
Yeah,
direction we
that's the
received from
direction
the
that,
board.
that's the direction received from the board.
Well, and I
And
understand that, but
that's
you have to
perfectly fine.
understand. And just to be honest,
well, we discussed trying to do it, but we never voted on it.
we have to be honest. When
never
we're given
voted.
direction,
about
our
it.
job is
Talked
to
about
take that direction and try to bring back a product that fulfills the direction you as the board gave to us.
And
That's
you
what
as-
we were given.
And you as the board have the opportunity to vote it up or down.
We know.
And if you don't like this, then that would be a, no, we don't like it, and,
Did I understand you to say that as a teacher, you would give your 9-week test or semester test before the holidays, even if it were ending 2 days after this?
A couple days, yes.
Yeah.
And I would use that time after the holidays for makeup, catch up, anybody who'd missed and do that. With 2 weeks, no. With a couple days, I would still give the test before the holidays.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how,
The other thing that I'd like to add, and this was a driving force from being at the high school, dual enrollment.
That is another
When you
factor.
have a large percentage of your students participating in dual enrollment, thankfully, that's an awesome piece that we have for our students. We've also got to watch those dates, because when you start to have students who have courses in the first semester that then have a conflict in the second semester because of a change in their dual enrollment,
Yeah, I
it
did a lot
becomes
of that
difficult.
scheduling.
It's hard, and I know you did, but that's another big piece that as a board in the past, that was another reason to try to end that before then. Is this perfect? Heavens no. I don't know that there is a perfect one. And what I will promise you is it doesn't matter how many you poll. You're never going to make 100% of the people
Never.
happy. I wish we could, but we can't.
Never,
And
never, never.
sadly, when we had a representative from every school on the calendar committee, we would have people there, but the percentage of people who would respond to surveys or give their vote, whether they wanted calendar 1, 2, or 3, was minimal.
So if you want to define those parameters when we meet again, if you have some suggestions, and
Well, November 21st being a hurricane makeup day, that's the same thing we're doing with the Wednesday, and the very, very high absentee rate of people that did not come to school that day is not in the best interest of the students,
And there
period.
were a lot that
And there
didn't
were a
go.
lot that missed, so to say that that's a hurricane day is just very
Because because the students won't come, is that what you're
correct.
saying?
So the 21st, I'm begging, please, for the love of the Lord, change that one day, because students don't come. So if you can just
is there
say-
another place that could be?
Veterans Day.
Well, you know what that does.
And that's what we as a committee, we
Yeah.
wrestled with that.
No.
But also look at
Well,
that,
the
that's why,
college, the
look at
college
that.
goes on Veterans Day.
but look at this, that's why it's number 3.
Pedro Menendez
That's why
went.
it's number 3. If you have to take 3 days, as we did
Oh,
this
it
year,
would be
we
the
hope
third
that would never
day.
happen again. That is the 3rd day. That's the last one we would take back that's already built into the calendar, because we know that's the day that you're gonna have a much lower
What
attendance.
about Labor Day? I mean, my goodness, we haven't even hardly been in school by the time Labor Day comes around.
That's what St. Johns County does. Labor Day, they do Veterans Day, and then a planning day as their hurricane
Hurricane.
makeup days.
I like Labor Day.
And we certainly
I
can
don't
look
like
at
Veterans
that.
Day,
The
but I
problem
like
is
Labor Day.
oftentimes,
I would
in the past, hurricanes have occurred after Labor Day.
Right, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
Now,
If we
not
could get
always.
them to happen on Labor Day, it'd be
could just
great.
get 'em
But I mean,
Perfect
just
weekend, yeah.
I mean, just have that, go to school that day and have, maybe get off a day earlier before Christmas.
And maybe that's an option.
I mean, because they've been in school less than 4 weeks.
You may just have a similar attendance issue.
Yep.
Because that's the
Because
day
people
that
go away
a
for
lot
the
of people
weekend.
have that,
Yep.
because that's the end of summer for many.
Use.
But
But
there's
they've
no
been in
perfect
school a
answer.
month. Why,
Right, there's no
why would
perfect
they be
answer.
going on a long trip? I don't. I
We
think
have-
things are different now because we are starting so early. Labor Day doesn't have that,
Same
oh,
impact.
we're gonna go
Right.
And
to
we
North Georgia for Labor Day because we've got,
Yeah, just I hate the fact that Thanksgiving, that Wednesday. I've heard lots and lots of complaints about that.
oh, me too, but.
Anyway, that concludes my comments.
So you started this.
Thanks for
Well,
that.
just,
What a
y'all
headache.
Come on.
be open to that and just,
Please try.
yeah.
Be open to what?
Looking at Labor Day
Oh,
Instead of thanks.
and getting off maybe one day earlier before Christmas.
I would just like, I really don't care. My thing is ending the semester or whatever before
Prior to
Christmas. That's,
spring.
That just is
Yes.
not that important to me.
well, it is to me,
Because
and it
it's
was
a-
to the legislature, because that's why they moved the starting date back to August
Yeah, but not
10th,
all
so we
schools
could do
do
that.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned.